This is my third time going back in the house. I keep forgetting something. First it was my lens cap, now it's my wallet. This is the last time I'm coming back in here. Okay, so the plan for today is I found out that there is a Octoberfest celebration. Today's the last day of it, but it's going on down in Tarpon Springs, which is about a 25-mile drive. So I'm gonna go down there, go check it out, and just see what it is. The last day of these events are usually pretty boring, but we'll see. Hopefully there's still a lot of people out and things to see. Can't drink too much because there's a 25-mile drive back, but can still have fun. All right, so made it down to Tarpon Springs. Never actually been down here other than for like a few festival type things, so it's a pretty cool place. So I have zero idea of what to expect coming out here, but nice town, cool place to go. Had to get out of the house for a Sunday. I think the main festival is a few blocks over. The place just keeps going on. You guys have the coolest truck around. That's awesome. Now that's a way to make a pizza. That was the Tarpon Springs Octoberfest and the third and final day. Probably not the most busy day. Probably would have been better to come yesterday night or Friday, but at least I got to go see it. Sums up my whole experience with Florida thus far, is that wherever I go, I'm pretty much the only person under the age of 30 there that's not like with their parents, and it's kind of a bummer. Well, my theory of drive around and see what I could find, I found another festival, and it happens to be right on the water this time. Alright. Okay. You know your festival's big when you've got Sweetwater shows up. Successful festival. Stayed for a few hours and had some fun. Now I'm gonna head back and make the probably 45-minute drive home, but it's a good time. Good music, good view, good festival.